Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel, and we're going to do something that I haven't done on the channel before and play a little bit of drive time football. So this is a game, it's a free game, and I think John Turnbull is the one that puts it out. You can look for Powder Blue Sports, look for drive time football on Facebook, all the files are there. So uh, got the NCAA set and wanted to replay the playoffs, but then Notre Dame didn't get put in, and you can see in my where is it right there? I've Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame fan. My daughter went there, played softball for Notre Dame, and so was a little upset when they didn't make the playoffs. And however you feel about that, either way, whatever. I know they're polarizing, but kind of soured me a little bit on. Okay, well, I don't want to do that. So what I did is I took the composite of 50, I think it is, different computer ratings, and there's a lot of them. Took the composite and ranked them out in the top 24. So we have 24 teams, and I don't have my bracket. I should do that. So let me see if I can get that on here. Hold on. I do. Okay. So I have that set up, and you can see here, it might be hard to see. So let me zoom in a little bit. So the bracket is here. The teams are rated 1 through 24. I did the first four games already today. So USC beat Michigan, Tennessee whacked Oklahoma, Utah beat up Iowa, and Alabama, which actually was a close game until the end, beat Tulane. So tonight we're going to start with Texas James Madison and then work our way through. Depending on how long it takes, I might do two. It depends. But if you haven't played drive time football, it's an easy game. And there's an Excel spreadsheet that I found out there. I think it's available on the Facebook forum somewhere, maybe on his Google Drive that you can download. And it makes this game play really, really quick. So my alternative playoff world, we're going to play the right hand side of the bracket, get some of those games in, see how it goes. If you have questions, I'm not an expert at this game, definitely not an expert. So I will work my way through, and if I have to open up the rules and follow that along, we might do that. But let's go ahead and get started. Get this one down. And I need to zoom. There we go. So that's okay. So you guys can see the spreadsheet I have here. This is not something I made. This was something that I got for them somewhere. I don't remember where, but I think it was on the Google Drive. But it has all the information in there. This is a drive-by-drive game. So you will roll out one team and see if the offense gets it or the other team's defense controls, and then what the result is. Then you go back to the other team. And you can have up to potentially 14 drives per team. You'll see how that comes into play at the end of each half. And at the end, you roll out, you'll have a winner. And it is pretty quick. What I'm doing with this, so each team has a simple rating system, I think, is what it's called, SRS rating, on the bottom of their team card. The newer set that he just put out doesn't have that. It has the conference one, but I kept the team rating system there. So I'm comparing the away team and the home team, and then I looked up the average home field possession. Home field advantage is 2.88 points approximately for the NCAA. So I made that adjustment, and it's a 4-point adjustment for Texas. So they have a 4-point adjustment going into this game. I will add that out in their first drive just to get it out of the way. There you can play and take these points away and do this and play that, and I just give them 4 points, and the score is going to be what it is. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me make sure my formulas are set correctly. Yep. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And the first roll will be for James Madison. It's their defense. So it checks the defense. That means it's Texas defense. So James Madison has the ball. Texas defense, the roll is a 3. And that 3 is a fumble. So they force a fumble. And because of that, so you look at this and you can go to the spreadsheet and the roll is a 3. No, sorry. No, that doesn't work. Sorry. You have to go defense. And that's a 3, and it's a fumble. And so you can do a defensive special teams check is a 2 because they have a fumble return of 6, and it's not a return for a touchdown. So they fumbled it, and now Texas gets the ball. So I'm going to add their 4 points now just to get that out of the way. Texas ball. Again, a defense check. So you go defense 6. James Madison's defense, that's in the red zone. So when you get a red zone reading, that is a scoring opportunity. You will continue to read on whichever team generates that. So let's say it was an offense roll that got red zone, you'd read off of Texas's offensive part of their card. But James Madison is on defense red zone, they're only one. You'll read the next roll, the red zone roll, off of the defense rating for them. So we go red zone. The red zone roll is a 2, and that ends up being a field goal. So they get a field goal, and it's 7-0. So the points are already worked out. 7-0. Second drive. James Madison gets on offense. That's a 9, and that's going to be a red zone. So now we'll read on the offensive zone, the offensive column for James Madison. It's a 6, which is a touchdown pass. And we check the extra point there, 2-12, and so that will always be good. There is a way you can roll on a 2-12 to have an extra roll to see if it gets blocked or not. I'm just playing this out straight, so they score. It is 7-7. Texas ball. It's going to be on James Madison's defense. A 4. That's a punt. So they force a punt. You have the ability. Some of these teams are rated to kickoff return for a touchdown, punt return for a touchdown. You can choose to try it one time per game per each. So for James Madison, on a kickoff, they can try to return it for a touchdown one time, and on a punt, Texas gets to do that. So when James Madison punts, we're going to do that, and next time Texas kicks off, we'll do it. So we go to the end of the first quarter. The first 2 drives happen. The third one is a potential drive. Depending on this extra drive reading, for James Madison's a 2-8, for Texas a 2-8. So if this extra drive roll is 2-8, they get that drive. If not, then they don't. So that's where the potentially up to 14 drives come. It could be as little as 8. So we're going to roll. The first thing we check is the extra drive is an 11, and that will not happen. So an 11, no drive. In Texas, they roll a 10, and they don't get an extra drive either. So that's going to end the first quarter, 7-7. We go to the second quarter, and James Madison has the ball. Their offense gets a 7, which is a red zone roll. The red zone rating is a 4, and that ends up being a touchdown run, and the extra point is good. James Madison takes the lead. Texas gets it. Their offense gets a 4, which is a red zone reading. The red zone roll is a 10. On their offensive chart is a field goal. So it's 14-10, James Madison. Defense. So Texas 9 on their defense is a punt. They're going to try the punt return right now. So they do a punt. We check the special teams roll. That's a 7. It's one of those things, you don't cheat to look at it to see, oh, well, maybe it is. I just don't look down there. So it's a 7. That's not a punt return for a touchdown, so that ends up being their chance. And Texas now has the ball. Defense of James Madison 8, and that's a punt back. So we go to the end of the first half. Do we do the extra rolls? So they do get an extra roll. That's a 6. It's doing the 2-8. At the end of each half, there's also an end of half, end of game roll. So that is now in this reading. So you do the extra drive, yes. 2-5 is that end of half roll in the 2-5. It's not, so they get that. So that would have ended the half in 2-5, but it's not. So it's a 6. So we don't end the half, so they get the drive. It's a defense 10, and that is the red zone for Texas. A 3 is a touchdown pass. So James Madison will be ahead at the half here. Let's see if Texas can counter. The extra drive is yes. The end of half is an 8, so that is not the end of half. So they will go offense 6, red zone play 3, and another field goal. So that's going to end the half. The score at the half is 21. Once I update, it is 21-13. James Madison is ahead. So even with that 4-point bonus, Texas has fallen behind. They're down 8. Third quarter. Defense roll 8. That's in the red zone for Texas' defense. And the roll of a 7 is a touchdown pass. James Madison putting up a good fight here. Texas goes into James Madison's defense as a punt. No, that's a 9, and they punt. So they will have the ball back. James Madison Texas defense is a 7. They force a punt. They needed that. Texas needs a score here. The defense 6 is the red zone for James Madison on their defense, and the 7, oh, yeah, 7 is a touchdown pass. So Texas gets closer. They get back into it. So we're going to do the kickoff now. The kickoff of a 2 is going to be a touchdown for James Madison. It's a 7, so it's not. Okay, into the third quarter. Do they get the extra drive? They don't. Texas has a chance here. Do they get the extra drive? They do. It's on the defense, and it's a 6, which puts it into James Madison's red zone. The red zone roll of an 8 is a touchdown pass. Okay, so they're down by 2. They're going to go for 2 to try to tie it. So the way this works is on a roll of a 4, 5, 6, or 7, they convert. So they use it, it's like 46 to 49% or something like that. So 4, 5, 6, 7 is good, and other than that, it's not. So we'll look at the 2-point conversion. It's a 7, and it's good. So they do convert it. They tie the game up after 3. The score is 28-all. Good game. James Madison will go into the Texas defense. An 11 is a punt. Texas gets the ball. They go on the offense, 9, and they punt. Second drive, defense 5, an interception. So Texas intercepts it. So defense 5, interception, but they can't intercept return for a touchdown. They just get the ball. So they stop them again. They need to score. They won't. Defense 7 is a punt. So we're down to the extra drives. It's down to the end. We'll stay with the road team. Defense extra drive is a 3, so they do get it. It's a defense 8. That's a red zone roll. 6 is a touchdown pass. James Madison takes the lead, getting late in the game. Texas gets the extra drive, so that's a yes. It's defense 5, though, and that is a punt. James Madison up by 7 as we get towards the end. 2 more possible drives. 11, they don't get a drive, so Texas needs a counter. They don't get it either on the 12. That's a 12 up here. We're down to the end. I'm going to go Texas first to see if they can tie it. They get an extra drive, but it is the end of the game roll. So that is in the end of half, end of game roll. End of game. And that will do it. We will roll out the other team to see what they do. The extra drive is a yes. The end of game is a no. They roll on, so that ends up being defense 8, which is the red zone, and they would have beat them anyways. On a 5 is a field goal. And that does it. Texas gets upset by James Madison, 38-28. So that ends that game. And that took not very long. So James Madison, I'm just going to put that. Oops. And we'll go to the next game. BYU South Florida. Okay, and that's it. So let's do another one. I'm going to just refresh this file here. BYU South Florida. I'll just drop these guys in here. And I'll put the teams in. I'm just going to make it short. South Florida University, BYU. And the adjustment, 12.78. BYU will be heavily favored here. They get an 8-point advantage. Okay. So with that 8-point advantage, we're going to do the second game. South Florida will start with the ball. They go on offense. It's a 5. That is their red zone, and the red zone rolls an 8. That's a touchdown run. 7-0. Let's put BYU's 8 points in there. Do we have any kickoff or punt returns? We do have some punt return possibilities. BYU rolls in the South Florida defense, a 7. That's a red zone, and red zone roll of 10 is a field goal. 11-7. Defense 8 is they're turning over on downs, so BYU has a chance to move ahead here. They're going to go offense 8. That's the red zone. A 3 is another field goal. So they could have jumped out to a big lead there, but the red zone, the offense is 3, red zone roll of a offense 5, red zone. No, sorry, offense 8. Wow. Red zone 3, field goal. Into the first half rolls, extra drive, 2-10. So this team will probably get the extra drive. They do. That is on offense 6, which is a red zone roll. Red zone roll of 7 is a touchdown pass, and they tie it up. BYU extra drive is a 2-8, so they get in that range, so that's a yes. They go offense roll of 5, which is another red zone, 9, and that's a touchdown run. So the end of the first quarter, high scoring game already. BYU's up 21-14. Going to the second quarter, defense 7 in the red zone. 8, red zone defense is a touchdown run, and they make the extra point. BYU's offense rolls an 11, and that's an interception. We check the special teams roll as a 6 for a touchdown. The defense special check, no, it's a 9. So they get the turnover. South Florida has tied it up. Offense roll of 6. They have a good offense. Scored a lot of points. And there it goes into the red zone. Red zone roll of a 3 is the touchdown pass, and they score 7 more. BYU needs to keep it on offense. They don't. Defensive roll 9 is a punt. They're going to check the punt return. Touchdown has to be a 2, and it's a 3. So that will be just regular possession for James Madison. So the extra drive at the end of the second quarter, that's a 5. The end of half roll is a 9. That is out of range. So that's end of half for them. BYU needs to get something here. There's a 4 for their end of their extra drive. Their end of half roll is a 7, which is out of range. I may have done that wrong. I did do that wrong. So I have to play out South Florida's possession. So that's a 7, no. Offense 10 is they turn it over on downs. The 9 was outside of the range, so that is a no. Let me just run that possession one time for South Florida. Offense 4 is red zone again. 11 on the red zone roll is a missed field goal. That was huge to keep this game close. So that's the end of the half. South Florida leads BYU 28-21. We'll start the third quarter. Okay. There we go. Defense 9, interception. So BYU intercepts it. They have a 2-7 interception return. It's a 7 and a touchdown for BYU on the interception return. So you'll put, and the extra point's good. You get 7 points there. That ties it. Now they get the ball. It's just the way it works. You go possession by possession. They get the ball back. Defense 11, and that is a punt. They force the punt. That is, yeah, I've already checked the punt on them. I haven't checked the punt on BYU yet because South Florida hasn't punted. So it's 28 all. South Florida goes offense 5. That's the red zone. 12 is a field goal. So they haven't stopped. They intercepted the ball, but they haven't stopped them yet. That's a good offensive team. Defense 7, then they get into the red zone for South Florida. That defense roll on the red zone is a 9, and that is a touchdown run. So BYU scores to take the lead as we go late in the third quarter. Extra drive's an 11, so that doesn't happen. Chance for BYU here. The extra drive's a 12. and they don't get one either. So we are going to go to the fourth quarter. It's 35-31 BYU in a pretty tight game. Right now, that home field advantage and ratings advantage is what's keeping them ahead, because that 8-point advantage is it right now. South Florida will get the ball. They go on offense. They get an 8, which is a red zone reading of 5 and another field goal. So if they can keep them to field goals and they can score touchdowns, that's how you're going to beat them. But the defense roll is an 8, and they force the punt. 35-34, South Florida has the ball. Offense again and a 7. It's the red zone. 12 is another field goal, but they take the lead. South Florida's ahead 37-35. BYU gets an offense roll into the red zone. 5 into the red zone. The red zone roll is a 9, which is a touchdown run, and they make the extra point. They're up 42. Yeah, they're not going to go for 2 because they're up 5. Okay, so we're down to the final 3 rolls. It is 42-37. This is a Big 12 game, back and forth offense. Okay. Extra drive 6 is a yes. They go on offense. It's a 5. They're in the red zone. A red zone reading of 9 is a touchdown run. And they'll take the 7. I'd go for 2. Not yet. Not yet. They're up 2. Maybe next time. Okay. Extra drive is a yes. Not an R, it's a yes. Defense 5, that is intercepted. Intercepted by South Florida. Their return is a 6. That number is a 5 on the special teams check. So South Florida takes the lead, 44-42. We'll go with the losing team first, BYU. Extra drive 10, they don't get it. This is huge, this could end it. Extra drive of 7. Offense 12. And it almost could have been a safety. I haven't had a safety yet. So because this is yellow here, there is a potential for a safety, and this will tell you if you roll on a yellow result and that says safety, it would have been a safety against South Florida. But they punt, and they got to check the punt return of a 3. That doesn't happen. Okay, we're down to it. The last rolls of the game. BYU down 2. Extra drive is an 11, and they don't get it. BYU's going to lose. That's an upset. They roll a 9, which is their extra drive. Is it the end of half of the game? No. Defense 7, red zone, so it doesn't matter anyways. They get a 10. Oh, it's a missed field goal, though. And that ends the game, that missed field goal. So BYU doesn't get a chance to end to take the lead. They end up losing in an upset. South Florida beats BYU. So that's it. I'm going to wrap up the video with that. So I played a couple games, 2 games in about 20 minutes. This is what it takes, about 10 minutes, and that's me kind of describing things. It's a really easy game to play, especially with this Excel roller. You get the team cards. You don't have to put them into picture format. I did that. I cut up the PDF and did that. But you can do this. It's easy. It's free. It's fun. It's a good game. It has some drama in it. So that's going to be it. That's going to wrap up the video for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. So you like the video. But that will be it. I hope have a good night. Stay safe. And I will catch you all in the next video. Good night.